Greetings and welcome back, everyone, to episode 32 of The Angry Chicken, a podcast about Hearthstone. I am Garrett Weinzierl, and I am joined, as always, by Willie Dills Gregory. Dills, how you doing, man?
I'm good, dude. It's good to be back. We missed last week.
That it is.
And we still miss Jocelyn.
We still really do miss her. Jocelyn is still sick. If you don't follow us on Twitter or any of the other places and you only listen to the podcast, that was part of the reason we missed last week, is she was ill then. Because she's got some kind of viral lung infection that she just has to wait out. There's literally nothing they can do. She's okay. She just feels crappy. Hopefully she'll be back next week.
And I was celebrating Memorial Day, because I'm American. So I didn't even realize that's a Monday, isn't it? So yeah, I had a barbecue. So yeah, it ended up just being a good week to miss. Actually, let everybody hang out and celebrate and barbecue and do all the things that they're supposed to do on Memorial Day. So glad to be back this week, though.
Sweet. Wonderful. Well, glad you're here, Dills. Also joining us today for the very first time, our guest for the top of the show, Chris France from Hearthstats. Chris, welcome to the show.
Hey guys, great to be here. Just before, I know that a lot of the people that just listen to audio can't see this, but I feel like I'm on Brady Bunch right now. I can just look over or look up if I had somebody above me.
Hey, there's cool. Chris right there. Yeah.
Hey, there's Dills, and we high five when our hands pass through the frames. We're actually high fiving each other.
It's true. Yeah.
Across.
We're
the
actually
country.
all in the same room. You guys don't know that, but we just like to create the illusion that it's some crazy podcasting technology going on here.
Yeah, exactly.
Ultimate man cave.
Anyways, Chris, you are with us today because right after we get into news and we play the bumper, the very first topic today is going to be Hearthstats May Report, which actually hasn't even been posted on Hearthstats yet, has it?
No, it has not. We're giving you guys the exclusive go-to.
Exclusive.
We're so jazzed.
It hasn't even been formatted yet, so you guys got the raw data that we're.
It's actually it's really good for formatting into the show notes, which is just a basic Word doc. So it worked out real well.
We like it formatted just as is. Just send us this exactly how it is.
Can you make it perfect, please?
I just want to say to you that I've been championing Hearthstats for kind of a while here on the show, but when I first discovered it, it was like an incredibly exciting moment for me as a Hearthstone player because I am kind of a stats nerd, and I was when I was a kid, I always read the back of baseball cards and was all into who had the best average and most hits and home runs and blah blah. When I started playing Hearthstone, I just wanted to know exactly what my win rate was and what it was against certain classes and with certain decks, and all of the functionality that I wanted was in Hearthstats. And you guys have even gotten better as time has gone on. So I just want to say, as a player, not even just as a podcast host, but as a player, I really enjoy what you guys have done over there, and we fully support you guys 100% at the Angry Chicken.
Yeah, I really appreciate that because that's definitely the goal that we're trying to do is just take the average player. Dill's not saying you're average by any means, but you know a fair bit about the game. So, but take the average player, and see what we can do to make that player better, and how can we help out improve the game just in any way possible, and if so, then we've done our job. And I know that I didn't develop the site, but I kind of try to help run the background stuff, the day-to-day business, and all that good stuff. And so the guy behind the development, Jeff, he's just amazing, and he's swamped all the time, working on this, and we've got a lot of good stuff coming out pretty soon that hopefully everyone's gonna be really excited about, and we're excited to announce it soon. So yeah.
Awesome.
Well, great. Well, thanks for joining us today. Just before we get into news, I do have to give a top of the show shout out to listener Daniel's 6-year-old nephew. He wrote in to let us know that his 6-year-old nephew just hit rank 20 before the new season, which was his goal after having just started playing with his own account, and he hasn't spent a cent on the game. So
cool.
Good on you for raising someone that will grow up to destroy me on ladder. Thank you, Daniel.
At 6 years old, he's killing it. Yep. Nice.
I just thought that was too cool not to mention. So, Oh, well, without further ado, let's get into these stats. It's time for this week's news.
Good news, everyone!
All right, if you look at your calendar, everyone, it's the beginning of June, which means only one thing. We can look at the Hearth Stats report from May and see who we should take to the forums complaining about now.
Well, everybody seems to think that it's Rogue. I'm just gonna say, if you read Reddit and if you read the Hearthstone subreddit, everyone apparently thinks Rogue is incredibly overpowered right now.
Yep.
Let's take a look at the stats though, because I'm not convinced.
They're wrong if you look at the stats, which is nice.
Whoa! What do you know? They're wrong. They're totally wrong.
I can totally understand the complaining with Rogue, as we've talked about a lot over the past couple of weeks when we were discussing Miracle Rogue. It feels awful to lose to.
Yeah, the reason why it sucks is because you spend so much time watching the other guy play.
Yeah,
and that is why it gives you that sense of like, I couldn't beat this. There's no way I could beat this because he just drew his whole deck and then he got every card he needed to finish me off. So as you sit there watching the other guy do stuff, that sucks. So that just kind of leaves a bad taste in your mouth, I think, and that's why. Even more than, say, like the Hunter stuff. Like, people are really raging right now about Miracle Rogue. But looking at these stats, they tell a different story.
Chris, who's your hero of choice?
Oh man, I go back and forth. I play a lot of Warlock because there's so much versatility to it. But
the stats. Clearly.
Because look at the stats. No, I like Druid a lot. Druid's a lot of fun to play. I play a lot of Hunter. Just kind of whatever the flavor of the week is. I'm trying to get into Warrior, but I don't quite have everything that I need for that yet, and so
that's an expensive deck. Yeah,
it's an expensive deck.
Yeah, and it's hard to play actually correctly. There's a lot of moves that aren't obvious with Control Warrior, so it takes a lot of experience. But what flavor of Warlock would you say you play the most?
Well, I know that you guys are gonna like this answer. I do not play Murloc.
Good man.
So I'm not a Murloc player. Actually, it's kind of a funny story though, because my buddy he's actually pretty decent at the game. He's got a big Magic background and everything, and he just sent me a new Murloc deck list, and he's like, it was at the end of the last season. He was pretty high up there in rank, and he was going like, I think he was like 15-2 last time I had talked to him about it, and so I'm not playing it, but
good for you.
They've actually they've kind of developed now because the Murloc deck originally was just type in Murloc into the search bar and then just put everything in. Now people have started to kind of take out some of the weaker Murloc cards and surround them with some of the other really strong cards that kind of benefit what the Murloc deck does. So it's definitely grown as well, and it's gotten a little bit more, fine-tuned and streamlined, but it's still just, I hate it. I'm just never going to be a fan of Murlocs in this game.
That's all right. I understand.
So
no, but I mainly play. I like aggro, and the handlock's a lot of fun to play if you get the right card draw and all that good stuff. So I enjoyed your guys' strategy section the other week. So
I think handlock is great because it takes so much heart, man. Like, you really have to be willing to be low on health to win the game. You can't play scared with it.
I made the swap to handlock with the season reset.
Yeah. How you doing with it?
Okay. So far I've only had one kind of marathon session where I played like 10 games.
Yeah. But the first day of reset is really tough though, because you're basically playing the same people that you were playing at your level before. It actually reset now. So it's not like you're getting that kind of like first week of easy games. It's a different dynamic than it was before they did that bonus star thing.
Yeah. I didn't do it like the morning, the day it reset. I did my marathon yesterday evening.
Okay.
To shake off Game of Thrones. So that's all I'll say. I just had to shake it off.
I hear it was brutal. Yeah.
And that is all we will say about that.
All right. Moving on.
So anyways, Hearth Stats May report. Let's get into this. So first up in your report, Chris, is arena stats. So looking at this, it looks like the anti-rogue crowd might have something, a foot to stand on. but not by a huge margin. Rogue's number one, but
But I like this though because they ousted Mage, which has always been the number one.
barely though.
Yeah.
Mage is, we're looking at 53.6% for Rogue and 53.07% for Mage.
Yeah, but look at the number of games played for each. Because this is when you play Arena, and I play our Arena on stream quite a bit. I still really prefer Arena to Constructed because it's just, to me, it's just more interesting. I really hope that at some point there's an Arena style or a draft style competitive mode in Hearthstone that's not just Arena, like maybe a tournament something. But anyway, Arena to me is still really interesting, and I always say when I'm starting out a deck, like, well, this deck is okay, but as soon as I start hitting the mages, like, that's it. I'm not going to win against them. And then, inevitably I face 5 or 6 mages throughout my run. And you can see, looking at it, that mage, 70,000 plus games played, reported anyway, on Hearthstats with mage, compared to like half of that on rogue, 35,000. So even though Rogue is technically better, like the general public is not buying that, and they're still playing Mage.
Yeah, the sample size is much larger for Mage. Even for Paladin has a significantly larger sample size as well.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting. I think a lot of the reason for this is, even though the win percentages don't necessarily say that, a lot of it, I think, it stems from, okay, people are doing research, see who, like, the top legendaries are playing, legends are playing, and if that's what they're playing, then that's what these people are going to go to every single time. Whether or not you know how to play the class, I think that's kind of what people tend to gravitate towards.
They go for what they think is going to be the best. I think, though, that the common knowledge has been that Mage is the best in Arena for so long now that it's going to just get picked every time. But if you talk to like some of the higher skilled Arena players, they all say that they think Rogue is actually a little bit better than Mage in Arena. And I think, though, what you're seeing here is the higher percentage but lower number of games played has something to do with the fact that the higher skilled players understand that Rogue is better and are still going to Rogue. So even though like Mage is considered better by most of the people out there, a lot of players who are actually really, really good at the game and really pay attention understand that Rogue is actually a tiny bit above Mage right now. So you're seeing a higher win rate but less games played.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun to play too. I've got a Rogue Arena going right now, and it's so much fun to play.
It really is. There's a lot of cool cards in it, right?
Yeah.
Like Backstab is one of those cards that's just always going to be amazing, even post nerf. And
their class specific effect combo just is fun and inherently makes you think about the game.
Yeah,
I feel like of all the classes in the game, of all the heroes in the game, you've got, for me, it's Rogue with combo, and then Shaman because of Overload, are the two that are the most thought provoking.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think you hit the nail right on the head there. That Overload and combo are actually the most difficult to do correctly. Right?
They're very active, I guess is another word you could use to kind of describe it.
You have to plan your turn out more than you do with other stuff. I mean, no other class really has an effect that is, it makes you have to think through your entire turn before you play your turn, right? Whereas like Hunter, it's like, what's the class mechanic? Oh, beasts. Okay. So I play a beast. Cool. Warlock, it's like, I might discard a card. That's a little bit rough, but it's also just kind of obvious, and it's also kind of out of your hands. Whereas like Shaman and Rogue, you really have to consider what order you're going to play stuff in and how you're going to do it and what your next turn might entail. So it does actually come down to the thought process of the player a lot.
All right. So moving on to Constructed.
Which I think most people are really concerned with.
Right. I mean, we really enjoy Arena here on the show, but Constructed is where it seems to be where the bragging rights are at the moment, what everyone is discussing and comparing to their friends. Nice to see across the board, Priest is still doing poorly in both.
Yeah,
Arena
bottom of both, yep.
Not doing too well. Worse in Arena than in Constructed.
Sure. Did you notice, though, that Arena has a higher spread, basically? So, like the top class is almost 54%, whereas when you look at Constructed, top class is under 53, 52 and a half, basically. And there's only 4 classes over 50%. And like the spread from each one to the next is like a smaller jump, basically.
Yeah.
Like, so Priest in Constructed is at 40, almost 45, whereas in Arena it's like 42 and a half. It's really bad in Arena right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So Rogues, everyone complaining about it, they're actually down in number 5 with according to Hearthstats, in the almost 72,000 games played with Rogues, have a 49.42% win rate.
Yeah. So quit your bitching, everybody. All right,
I'm trying to have a civilized, intelligent conversation, Dills, and you're just going to boil it down to that.
No, I have a theory on this, okay? I think that the reason why Rogue is actually down there is because even though all the top legendary players are all playing Miracle Rogue and basically the Leroy version of Miracle Rogue, and a lot of people seem to think that it's a brain dead class to play or a brain dead archetype to play, it's actually really difficult to play correctly. And there's a lot of room to make errors that don't feel like errors when you make them, but they actually are mistakes and end up costing you games. And the really good players play them really well, but then all these other people try to play it and don't do nearly as well at it. So, they think, oh, I'm just going to play this deck because it's so good, right? Everyone's playing. Reels has this amazing Miracle Rogue deck, and Kalento's got this amazing Miracle Rogue deck, and he never loses. So I'm going to play it, but then they can't do it because they don't have the skill set necessarily or the experience.
Yeah. I don't think anyone who says that it's easy actually has really sat down and tried to play Miracle Rogue, because it is really difficult. I talked about when we discussed Miracle Rogue on the last episode, it's not really my favorite, and part of that is because it's hard to play, but another part of it is I don't know, I just don't like the style of it.
Sure.
But part of it is definitely because it's hard. It's the same reason, warning, Magic reference coming in. It's the same reason I don't play Blue when I'm playing my midnight pre-release tournaments at my local store. I don't want to think that hard at 1 in the morning. I can't do it. So I don't play Blue. I just
You do. You have to think really hard about about a single card. Like, if you notice a Miracle Rogue streamer, they hit the rope more than anybody else, right? Like, the rope starts burning down on more of their turns than any other deck people play. All the other decks, it's fairly, it's just, okay, I know what I'm going to play here. 4 + 2 is 6. I have 6 mana. I'm going to play those 2 cards. With Miracle Rogue, it's a little different. It's like, well, if I play this and then I use it up and then I don't have it later, then I'm screwed. And then how do I get through this? Do I use 5 cards to get through these 2 taunts, or do I save them for my Auctioneer play next turn? And, it's just, there's a lot more going on every turn. So even though people have gotten beaten by it a bunch of times and have just raged over it, it's under 50% total, according to what the Hearthstats, stats have been for this month. So, and this was the month of Miracle Rogue.
Yep.
Make no mistake about it.
Yeah, and instead, Warlock is still on top in first place.
By a lot.
One thing that actually we want to try to get in here pretty soon, that's pretty high on our priority list, is obviously I know it's requested by a lot of people, is seeing the ranks with the win percentages with the ranks, and number of games played, like say rank 20 to 15 and 15 to 10 and so on. It'd be interesting to see the win percentages at Legend for Rogue compared to ranked 15 for Rogue, who's someone who's trying to like play the same style but doesn't necessarily know all the right moves. And
well, not only that, but the matchups you get down there are much different than the matchups you get at the top Legend status. Because you're going to tend to see probably 3 or 4 decks at most when you get to the really high level of Legend, because most of those guys they're really trying to grind to that top 16 status. So they're going to play the good decks, and they're going to have their little variations on them. But for the most part, you're going to see like Handlock, Miracle Rogue, Zoo, just some of these like really strong archetypes that everybody knows about. Whereas like down at 20, you're going to see some weird stuff, and you don't know if Miracle Rogue will be good against it or not. So it's the Wild West down at rank 20. And you just have no idea,
It's like, what is that? It's a Diamondback Rattlesnake. I'm dead. Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're just like, whoa, that card? What? So I think that's a really useful feature to the site, and I'm really looking forward to when you guys implement that.
So to clarify,
we're excited.
You're working on a tool so you could specify the types of decks that are winning?
Those are just at different ranks.
Oh, at different ranks. Okay.
Yeah, so you can see what the percentage are at different ranks rather than just kind of an overall.
Gotcha. I was misunderstanding. I'm like, that seems like it'd be really hard / impossible to do because
Yeah.
people could name their deck whatever the hell they want to name their deck.
Yeah, we're exploring ways to find out how to track better ways to track the meta, but we're still kind of in the early exploratory phases of that.
Yeah.
Have you now when you play against somebody right now, the software tells you what class you played against, but it doesn't tell you like what archetype. So I think what would be really useful is something where I could say, there was like maybe common archetypes or something like that, and you could kind of say, okay, I played Warlock, I played Handlock. I played Warlock, I played Zoo. I played Warlock, I played Murlocs. Like where I could go in there after the fact and kind of say what I played. And then you could really kind of nail down how good I'm doing against a specific deck rather than just a class. Because, with Warlock, there's, 3 or 4 different ways to play that class right now. So I can see what my record is against them, but it doesn't tell me the whole story yet, And it'd be nice to know exactly what style of Warlock I played or what style of Shaman or whatever. So
yeah, but you can make notes right now, right? So I mean, it's something you could do personally.
Yeah. Personally, you can make notes, but it's that's stop, type some stuff in. So
and really,
I see what you're talking about. That's not a bad idea.
Yeah, really, I just use the note section for post game insults of my opponent after they beat me.
Like this guy was a
cheat
douchebag.
piece of s. I can't believe I lost to a Murloc deck. You talentless hack.
Well, then you're using it correctly, Garrett.
Yeah, okay. I'm just making sure it's an outlet for my rage.
Yeah.
But on that note, though, if you guys ever, and the chat room too, and anybody out there, if you guys ever have suggestions for us, we're always open to any feedback people have. We take constructive criticism pretty well, I hope, and so
You do.
We're always open to new ideas, and so.
Where do people contact you with that stuff? Is the best place just through the website? Through I know you guys have like a kind of a support link.
We do, yeah.
section.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to do it, because we do have, there's a place to go on there for suggestions as well. You can always tweet us. I follow the Twitter pretty closely, so if you tweet at us, we'll probably tweet you back. Or
I can attest to that. They will.
So you can shoot me an email. I'm at chris@hearthstats.net, and Jeff is our is our main dude, and he's Jeff@hearthstats.net. He's really good about getting back to people, and yeah, just any way you can find to get a hold of us, we're happy to. Communication lines are open.
Nice. Very cool.
So the one here that is I'm surprised to see the results of, and it's mostly just because of probably my personal experience, is Shaman at number 2 under constructed.
Yeah.
As far as win rate. Last month they were down to number 4, so they've come up two spots.
Yep.
But they've never been like out. Like Shaman's always been okay. In both arena and constructed, honestly.
Yeah, I feel like when anytime I would listen to other shows where they'd have pro players on and stuff, or just any talk around the proverbial water cooler, that everyone seems so down on Shaman with all of the aggro that was going on right now because of their complete and utter inability to heal themselves.
Yeah.
And the fact that we've talked about on the show, like the all the downsides of stuff like Earth Elemental because it's susceptible to Big Game Hunter and whatnot.
Well, Big Game Hunter and Black Knight and the Overload 3 and
Yeah.
So, yeah.
There's just any removal in the game is just
yeah. But the other thing about Shaman too, and I think this is one of the reasons why you'll see top players kind of be down on it, is the RNG factor of Shaman is so much higher. So like they are a very strong class, but it feels unreliable, and a lot of these guys play in like tournament settings where you really kind of want to know what's going to happen.
Right, you're talking about the 2 or 3 damage on Lightning Bolt.
Exactly, 2 or 3 damage. Which totem do I get? Like there's just a lot of stuff that is random with Shaman.
Chris, does the word "or" on your card give you the ulcers it gives me?
Oh man, well, because I'm a stats guy too, and I've got a math background, and so like anything that has like that you're not 100% sure of, like all that fluffy stuff around there. I don't like it.
Yes,
The orange drives me
variants.
nuts.
I
So
think here's the thing. I think like a poker player will excel at playing shaman because they'll just crunch the numbers. Like, am I more or less likely to get the result I want here? And if I am, then it's worth it. And the variance is fine because I'm used to the variance. But if you're just coming from like a Magic background where the RNG really comes from the draw and not the gameplay, the randomness of the gameplay on top of the draw could just drive you crazy.
Yeah.
And I've been driven crazy playing shaman because I'm just like, dude, if I just rolled 3 damage on that guy, I would have won the game. Instead, I rolled 2, so 50-50, I lose. And it's frustrating, And if you're playing a tournament, you don't want that. If you're playing a tournament, you want to know,
Yep.
I'm going to kill you or I'm not going to kill you, like based on what I did, not the random roll of the dice. So, but you can tell that shaman is actually a really strong class. They have really good cards. The overload mechanic is tough, but they have really good cards.
They were
And they're all
my first love, and I've since been seeing other people, but
Yeah?
I will come back to them.
Okay. I think shaman is gonna I think the longevity of shaman is gonna be there. Their new card though is gonna change the game for shaman. We'll get to that later.
We will. Jumping ahead.
Yeah. I can't help it, man. I just all the knowledge is just there, and I just gotta get it out.
just got to flood it out. No, one thing that I think is one of the most interesting, it's not surprising, but like one of the most interesting changes is that I'm comparing last month's report to this month's. Last month Hunter was the number 2 top played, most played deck under Warlock, of course. But this month they're dropped all the way down to number 5. So
Yeah, 1 card. That's all it takes.
1 nerf, and it really wasn't even a bad nerf. That's the thing. I play that a deck similar to. I mean, I still use Unleash the Hounds in a lot of my Hunter decks, and so it's interesting that
It's still a
just
good
one little
card.
nerf. It's still a good card.
No, that's the thing. I think it's actually correctly priced now. I think that before it was OP because it was 2 mana, but now I think at 3 mana it's kind of the perfect price for that card. And obviously it delays the big turn, but it doesn't mean that it sucks. And I think the mid-range Hunter deck is still really good. There might need to be some tweaks to kind of speed up some of the other stuff around it, but I think that deck will still do really, like, people will still get Legend with that exact same deck right now, so I think they just costed it correctly at this point.
I ran into a couple of those those beast kind of mid-range Hunter decks last night, and they're still a total pain in the ass to play against.
Exactly. Yeah, because like there's out there is going to be a Buzzard Unleash combo, so I still can't overload the board, and
Not even
there's
that, I
still
still
Hunter's Mark stuff.
I'm
And
about to
they're
say,
gonna do all that.
Even just the Houndmaster coming out makes me crap my pants. I don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Buffing it and adding taunt, it sucks.
Yeah, and they put out that 6/5 with the Death Rattle, and it's just like, holy crap! What the hell, man? What do I do to this thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't have Hex. I'm playing freaking Paladin. Like, I don't have any way to deal with this thing.
Yeah, it's
so
really,
yeah, they're still good.
It's really interesting to see that change, but I feel like people are overreacting to it a bit. So,
but this is what happens though. Every time something gets nerfed, remember, Rogue was ridiculous at the beginning of this game.
They were
right?
broken.
The beginning of beta, Rogue was insane. They nerf Rogue. Everyone stops playing Rogue. Rogue sucks now. They nerfed like 5 cards, right? And then it just took a while for everyone to realize, no, Rogue is still really good. It's just, yeah, they nerfed it back to where it's supposed to be, but guess what? It's also still really good. And anytime a nerf happens, it's just going to be like with Mage, they might have over nerfed a little bit, but I think there's still viable mages too. It's just people have to kind of figure out what the deal is.
Been seeing
Priest though, poor
seeing
Priest.
a resurgence of Mage over the past week. As a matter of fact, I think when we were talking what we're going to do for strategy today was a toss-up. We talked the new Aggro Paladin, or we talked the Mage deck that's making a resurgence. And
Yeah.
we decided on Aggro Paladin, but I'm sure we'll
I'm
be
actually
talking about
curious
Mage.
on your take on this, Chris. Is that the bottom 3 classes in Constructed? Do you feel that it's been for a long time now, Priest, Mage, Paladin, right? It's like the bottom 3. Do you feel like that kind of incentivizes people to try Like, just like, I'm gonna make this work, man. Because I see so many streamers like, I'm a Paladin player, man. That's what I do, and it's like it gives you like instant respect, right? Like,
Especially I feel like especially the streamers is like I've seen a lot of priests lately too, of people saying, well, if priest is the bottom, I'm getting them up there. I'm gonna prove these people wrong. And
yeah,
yeah, I've seen a lot of that, and it's funny, but it's cool though. And they do still make it to legend, and that's why people complain about the balance of this game a lot, but it's cool to see that even the bottom classes can still make it to legend if you play it correctly.
you just got to figure something out. You got to
Exactly.
you got to buck the trend a little bit. But shout out to Yang Wu, by the way, who's like priest revolution now. He was hunter revolution, remember? And he's now moved on.
We had
priest
this
revolution.
we had this Twitter discussion. He ended on he's just the underdog revolution.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Whoever the
So whatever
underdog
bottom
is.
class is, Yang Wu's gonna go for it.
Yeah,
All right. I just
exactly.
imagine him just in like, Team 5 board meetings or whatever, and they're just all sitting around and they're like thinking of like what to do, and Yang Wu's like, no. Don't buff priest. Don't buff priest, man. What am I supposed to play if you buff priest? It's like, leave them where they are. I'll figure it
I thought you
out.
were gonna say he was the guy that came to the defense of those being picked on in high school, but never mind. You went a completely
No,
different, much
yeah.
darker route. Thank you.
No, he wants somebody to be the underdog so he can have fun playing the game.
Young Woo, I would like to apologize for Dills' statements here. That is probably going to cause a bunch of really dumb tweets sent your way this week.
It's massive respect to Yang Wu. That guy's awesome.
Anyways, so that's that's good. As we start to wind down on this, is there any other things that really surprised you about this, Chris? Any other points that you wanted to make sure we brought up?
No, I mean I think we hit on a lot of the main points, and a lot of it's not surprising right now, but I think it's good if you can just anything that you can. What I like to do is I'm a finance guy, so I like to compare trends, and so like looking at last month's report with March's as well, like just all side by side. Like I've got an Excel spreadsheet right now of all of them side by side to where I can just compare them and just kind of see how the meta changes, and it's just so interesting that just based on a few things, like metas will change so fast, and Warlock might be powerful 1 month, and so someone has to come around to develop something to combat Warlock, and so another deck comes to fruition, and so it's just cool to see the trends and how things play out. And
Yeah. I think though if they kept all the cards exactly the same, even though the meta would shift throughout the month, I feel like at the end of the month you would get a similar picture all the time because of how like cyclical the whole thing is, right? Like it would change throughout, someone would counter, someone would counter, someone would counter, and in the end, Warlock would still be number one. Like I just kind of feel like that's just kind of how it would work, and so until they nerf Unleash the Hounds or something like that. So it's like it's interesting to see the meta shift so much, and then always kind of like come back to square one. Like this current Paladin deck, which we're going to talk about in the strategy section, is not a new deck really. It's just been tweaked for the current situation. But this deck was around very early on in the game, and we just kind of came back around to it. So. I love the cyclical nature of the whole thing. Like you just can't really predict where you're at any given day until you get in there and start playing some games. But the data you guys give is incredible at the end of the month.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's really cool stuff, and there's nobody else really putting this kind of stuff out there. That's just like here it is in black and white on paper, quote unquote. That this is what's going on in the game during this month. So
Yeah.
You guys could even do well with like a weekly report, honestly, because
Yeah,
it does
that would
shift so
actually-
quickly.
Actually, that's a really good idea. And for those of you who don't who aren't signed up at hearthstats.net, go check it out. It's cool to see. There's so much more to this site than the monthly report. There's so many personal stats you can get into. You can track the global rates throughout the month, and just there's just a wealth of knowledge in there, and just any way to improve your game. That's what we're about, and
Yeah.
I like that. I like that weekly report idea a lot. I'm actually
I
going
think
to
that
talk
could
to
be cool.
Jeff about that
If only you
tonight.
could find a way to.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Making improvements.
Your monthly reports, once they're up on the site, are so gorgeously laid out.
Oh yeah,
So
you guys do.
you would have to find. I'm
actually
sure you
putting
would have to
that
find a
together.
way to auto-populate that. Otherwise, it would be a designer nightmare. But oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
The other thing
because
too,
that's
people
the
who
deal.
are
Sorry,
yeah.
What, Chris?
I said that's the cool thing is I don't have to do with the design
Hey,
stuff. I
that's
just come
not
up
on
with ideas and help us figure it out.
Oh,
If you guys know out there, like we get this question all the time here, is like, what's a good deck right now? What's a good deck to play? Another really cool thing that you can do is go click on deck and go look at the public deck list and look at like what's the top winningest deck right now, and there it is. There's a
Yep.
deck list, current deck list, current meta. You can play it like right now, and it's probably good. So there's a lot of really cool tools if you kind of just mess around a little bit in the site.
yep.
Yeah, so absolutely go over there and sign up and just you don't even have to. I mean, there's an uploader as well that you can download that automatically uploads all your game results in there. But even if you just want to explore and see what it's about before you do any of that, feel free. It's all free. So
Oh look,
Yeah.
the number one deck right now, a Zoolock.
What do you know? The thing is, though, that's you're looking at like over time. So
Right.
whoever put this deck and all the people playing it, there's over 7,500 matches with that deck.
Yep.
So that's pretty sick, and a 60% win rate. So
Yep.
yeah, go for it.
Pretty nice. You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
So, well, Chris. Before we let you go, any shout outs you'd like to make? Where can people find you?
we're on Twitter at Hearthstats. I'm on Twitter as well. At LT Lunatic 22, my old Halo 1 name, Lieutenant Lunatic. So it's kind of carried forward with me since high school.
Ain't nothing wrong with Halo.
What's that?
I said there ain't nothing wrong with Halo.
No, not at all. Yeah, and that's I'm mostly on the Hearthstats Twitter. Sometimes it's hard to keep two Twitters going on at one time, so I'm easily found on both though. So if you guys ever want to reach out to me, Chris at hearthstats.net as well. So
Awesome.
Check it out, guys. Dills and I both use Hearthstats almost religiously.
Yep.
If I'm playing on my iPad, I make sure I have Hearthstats open in another tab on my browser so I can log whatever game I just played.
That's another thing. How the hell are you guys gonna work it with iPad, man?
we got some plans coming.
Really?
What?
Okay. Woohoo! Oh, I'm so excited now.
Oh.
Okay.
Jeff's probably already eyeing me right now. So, but
Yeah, he's like, hey, shut up, man. Don't say anything.
Don't say anything.
but
I just set one on fire. We can't let anyone know. It's not working yet.
If it works with iPad, I'm going to be thoroughly impressed with you guys, man. Jesus. I'm already impressed, but
don't
yeah.
expect anything too soon though.
Okay, all right,
Gotcha.
all right. No, I'll keep, yeah.
I'm
I'll
fine
keep my
manually
expectation
inputting my
realistic
games
here.
as is.
Yeah.
But
We've got a big to-do list.
yeah,
So-
good job on what you guys are doing over there, Chris. And
I appreciate the Angry Chicken support. I appreciate your guys' support. I listen to the show every week, and you guys are always great about just hearing you guys talk about it. Is always awesome to hear. And I'm at work, working on my stuff, and then all of a sudden I hear Dills or Garrett pop in with Hearthstats. I'm like, oh yeah. So
That's right.
it's truly appreciated, and I know that all the crew at Hearthstats, we love you guys' show, and we love what's going on over here, and so yeah, we
Well,
appreciate
salute
it.
to you guys, man. Thank you very much for what you guys are doing. So it's great to have you on the show.
Yeah, and hopefully I'd love to be back sometime. So
we'll definitely
for sure.
definitely have you back next month if you guys enjoyed coming on. So
I think I just invited myself, but
No, you did not.
it's totally okay.
but
Well, you have a good one, Chris. We'll see you next month for the next report.
all right, thanks guys, I appreciate it. Have a good one.
See you.
All right, man.
All right, just gotta fix the overlay, and
Fix
bam!
it!
Look at that, we're good to go.
Sweet.
So that was great having Chris on. Guys, make sure you
That's
either
really cool.
just go straight to hearthstats.net. I believe the monthly report will be up properly either tomorrow or early this week, and we'll have we've got the show notes up if you want to take a closer look to it or look at it. They'll be up tomorrow. For you live listeners, if you're a podcast listener, they're probably up right now on amove.tv/TAC. So go check that out. Anyways, Dill, since we've been
hear the kind of the behind the curtains a little bit,
Yeah, absolutely. I was I talked to Jeff from Hearthstats last week or 2 weeks ago when we covered the April report, and I was like, you want to come on or have one of the Hearthstats guys come on next time we talk about a report? And he said, hell yeah, and he sent Chris my way, and I liked how that went, so we'll definitely do that again.
Yeah, he was great.
It was fun. Anyways, Dills, while we were gone, two new Naxxramas cards got announced.
Can I just say real quick before we talk about the card? I initially predicted August for Naxxramas, but based on the frequency with them putting these new cards out, I think we're getting it in July, dude. I don't think even like maybe late June.
I hope
they're
I hope
putting
so.
them out like once a week.
I hope so, man. I want some new damn cards.
I'm ready, dude. I'm ready. But yeah, I need to just amend. Like Dillstradamus needs to amend my previous statement. I don't think it's going to be August. I think we're getting it sooner, and I'm excited.
I just started getting used to the new Magic cards, and I'm already looking at spoilers for the next set. So,
wow. Yeah, see the Magic stuff. It's like what, 3 months or so?
Pretty much, yeah. Like every 3 months, here's 100 plus.
It's like here's a new game. More. Enjoy.
here's a 100. You know that game you had before? That.
Nope. Never mind. Everybody put that game away. Play this one. Yeah.
Oh, you're almost finished with that puzzle? Here, let me just shake it up for you again. And here's 3 pieces that aren't actually for this puzzle, but it's the same color palette. Have fun.
I think, though, that someone was asking me on my stream the other night, like, oh, man, it's been so long since we've seen new cards. And I think the point that has to be made about that is that this game is still very new as far as, not being in beta, actually being released, iPad being out, all that stuff. And, while the first iteration of new cards is going to be through Naxxramas, through this rating content, I think now that the game is out, we're just going to see cards more frequently than I think people are thinking at this point. This is not going to be the frequency we're going to see once we get past this first
kind of rolling.
Yeah, I think we're going to get, I don't think it's going to be like Magic where it's just here's a whole new set. I think it's going to be a little bit more like we're going to drop in 30 to 50 or whatever it is amount of cards. But I think the frequency is going to really ramp up at some point because the game.
I hope you're right.
They had a lot of stuff to work on, and that all that kind of stuff is out of the way. The bugs are gone. The game is playing great. But with this game too, it's not just printing some text and then making the cards. It's creating animations, voiceovers. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, right? So
yeah,
we're not going to get 200 cards at a time, but I think we're going to see 30 to 50 cards 3 to 4 times a year beyond this point.
Oh, so. I'm sure they just grab random. Hey, you intern, say this line, but sound like a pirate. All right, we're good. No, that's not how it's done.
No, more pirate, less intern. Yeah, something like that.
Anyways, let's take a look at these new cards. So the Shaman card for Naxxramas has been revealed, and also went on to confuse the shit out of me. It's called Rebirth.
What?
But it's a Shaman card.
What?
For those of you who do not play World of Warcraft, you don't understand why Bills and I are confused.
Yeah, what?
Rebirth is a druid spell.
It is.
What is going on here? This is like giving Jedi lightning. What is happening?
This is like a major oversight right here. But I forgive them. I forgive you, Ben Brode. But seriously, come on. Let's change the name of this thing. Reincarnation. It's as simple as that.
Seriously, is J.J. Abrams going to make Luke shoot lightning in the new Star Wars? Is this what the world I'm living in?
Nope. Siths shoot lightning. Jedis.
Yeah, exactly.
Use the Force and pull things towards them and push things around and all that. Yeah.
Shaman reincarnate. Yeah. Anyways, regardless of our stupid hang-ups over the name of this card.
Look, man, I think all the people who listen to this show they get it. The WoW players get it. Like they're all just like, wait, what?
Yeah. What? Yeah. At the risk of sounding too nerdy on a show that is really freaking nerdy. Anywho, it costs 2 mana. It's a spell card. It's a common rarity for you arena players. And it has this text. It reads, destroy a minion, then return to life with full health.
Yep. Pretty cool.
Return it to life with full health.
Yeah.
All right, so you get to kill a minion, and you get to bring it back with full health. no matter what's wrong with it. And I'm assuming this would also wipe any current effects off of it, be it positive or negative.
The way it works is it's going to kill the minion in its current state and revive it in its original state. So let's say it's a cairn that has been, it had to follow the rules.
As a matter
right?
of fact, Ben Brode made this exact reference on Twitter when this was announced. He said the question was, what is the result of a Cairn Bloodhoof plus Ancestral Spirit plus Rebirth? So Cairn Bloodhoof, spawns Bane, and Ancestral Spirit would bring Cairn back to life. So they said, what is this? 1 Bane, 2 Cairns? And Ben Brode said, correct. Ancestral Spirit has new, clearer text in Nax as well, he said. So they're rewording the effect of Ancestral Spirit.
This makes sense to me right off the bat. I don't need a clearer text on Ancestral Spirit. That seems like exactly what's supposed to happen, right?
Right. Right.
But so Ancestral Spirit is also 2 mana. So you're going to start seeing some shaman with a lot of ways to bring their stuff back.
Their minions are going to have legs if you don't have silence, is what this boils down to.
And even if they do have silence, Rebirth will basically kill it, cleanse the silence, and bring it back.
It's a really good point. Yeah, sorry. Ancestral Spirit is before they die. Rebirth, I decide you're dead, and you're back now.
And you're back now. Yeah, exactly. So I think cards like Earth Elemental will see kind of a resurgence because, yes, they can be killed or whatever, but But
can you kill 4 of them?
Exactly. I think, this is going to really play into the death rattle stuff too of Nax and the theme that Nax has. So death rattle decks are going to really be good for shaman because of this card in particular. This card's going to really play into that effect. So I can kill something, and if I stay alive with that card, then I kill my own card, come back, and then I kill something again later with it. There's going to be some cool stuff.
Yeah, one of the things when we first got into Hearthstone and started playing it, that as a Magic player, I was nerding out with my other Magic friends about that. I can't wait to see how they would implement this style of thing into Hearthstone. Is the returning stuff from graveyard, which is very common in Magic, especially in black decks, especially if you have sacrifice outlets. Killing your creatures, bringing them back for some type of benefit. And since there is no graveyard in Hearthstone, it looks like death rattles and benefits from killing your own minions are the way they're going. And this excites the hell out of me. I'm very excited for Naxxramas.
Yeah. People in the chat are making this point, and this is 100% correct. Sylvanas is going to be in every single shaman deck that runs this card because currently you can do stuff like play Sylvanas. It used to be when it was 5 mana, you could play Sylvanas and then you could use Starfall on your own Sylvanas, right? And then I kill my Sylvanas, and then I get something from your side of the board.
Yep.
But now, Sylvanas at 6 mana, the only class that can really still pull this off is Priest with Shadow or Death, right? Because they can play Sylvanas and then for 3 more mana kill their own Sylvanas, right?
Yep.
Now for 2 mana, you'll be able to do that and then get Sylvanas back. Holy crap! What?
Yep.
That's insane.
Yep. it's one less,
It's a mind control for 7 mana plus another Sylvanas. You know what I mean? Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really powerful. And she's been out of the meta for quite a while. She's made her way back in, and I think she's still she's well costed at 6. I think 5 was a little too cheap, but she's well costed at 6. And this is going to make her even more powerful.
Yeah, she has her place. She's not a blind pick.
No, she's not just Leroy isn't the new blind pick. It's
right. It's what do I have? Leroy. I'll just throw Leroy in there. Why not? Kind of works with almost every deck.
Yeah.
Anyway, so really excited for Rebirth, especially mixed with all of these Death Rattle cards. The other card that was announced just last week is the new Mage card, which is called Duplicate. And it's a new secret card. It costs 3 mana. It's a common rarity. And it reads, Secret, when a friendly minion dies, put 2 copies of it into your hand. So again, playing into the killing your own, or not killing your own minions, but playing into the benefiting.
You can't kill your own minion here because you can't activate a secret on your own turn.
Sorry, but playing into benefiting from having your minions die.
Yes.
More or less. And this one has a caveat of it has to happen on your opponent's turn, but
which makes this card incredibly weak in comparison, because for 3 mana, you play the secret and then hope you get the result you want. Whereas the Shaman card for 2 mana gets exactly the result you were looking for on that turn, right?
Exactly.
I don't think this is a good card, and I don't think that this helps Mage be better, unfortunately. I wish that it had done something a little bit better for Mage. Because let's play out the scenarios, right?
Just real quick, in your head, is there any way this is going to be like when Unleash the Hounds got nerfed and we were just like, this is terrible, and it turned out to be amazing?
Well, when Unleash got nerfed, we thought it was terrible, and it was terrible.
Oh, sorry. You're right. Yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right. And then it was
when
changed
it got
again.
buffed to 2 mana, then it became amazing.
Right.
But here's the thing. So there's a couple of really cool scenarios you can get with this, right? So I'll talk about like the best case scenario. The best case scenario is I have 10 mana, and I play friggin' the Mage Legendary. What is it called?
Velen.
I'm tripping. What?
Prophet
no.
Velen.
No.
Oh,
That's Priest
sorry,
Lord.
Antonidas.
Antonidas. Thank you very much.
I'm getting my bearded, crazy magic dudes mixed up. I apologize.
So anyway, I play Antonidas, and then I play this secret, right? And then they are forced to kill this guy, and then I get 2 more of them. Pretty cool. That could be cool. Unfortunately, then I have 2 cards in my hand that cost 7 mana. So that's great, but that means I need 7 more mana to play my Antonidas again next turn. It's not that good, you know? And yes, I've drawn a fireball off the first one because I played it, then I played a secret, and that's a spell, but it's not that cool.
And the reason that's bad also for the flip side, where say you're playing an aggro mage with a lot of low-cost minions, and you get back in the minion, you could play 2 of in one hand, you just spent 3 mana, and you screwed up your own tempo.
Well, it's like, okay, so then the other scenario that this looks like is, let's say I play Leper Gnome, and then I play this on turn 4. And then I get 2 Leper Gnomes back in my hand. Now I've got 2 more Leper Gnomes. That's way aggro. That's pretty aggro. That's pretty good. That could be okay. But the problem here is that I could also have it get, sheeped or hexed or something like that, and then they kill that, and then they give me 2 frogs or 2 sheeps.
That's a good point.
And and then I'm screwed. Like, oh great, now I have 2 frogs in my hand.
And even if that doesn't happen, you still gave up your turn 3 on playing an aggro deck.
Yeah,
which is not something you want to do.
Let's put this into perspective as well. Like, so Arcane Intellect draws me 2 cards for 3 mana. This basically draws me 2 of the same card for 3 mana, but I don't really get to I don't get to cycle through my deck and get 2 of the good cards. I basically get 2 of the same cards back in my deck. So you got to hope you get the cards you want, but you're not guaranteed to get the cards you want because, again, secrets only go off on the other person's turn now. So
right.
Just to me, this isn't the card that solves the mage problem in Constructed, and it's similar to Paladin. I wish that the cards that went to those classes were cards that solved the issue that those classes were having, and this doesn't do it to me. We still don't know what the priest card is, right? So I mean, nope. I don't even know what the hell that's going to do, and hopefully it's better than this. But I feel like the rich are getting richer, man. Like Warrior's getting an awesome card, Shaman's getting an awesome card, and Rogue's getting a pretty cool card, and then it's like, oh, some of these weaker classes are getting crap. So I don't know. I'm holding out on my full opinion on it until I can play with it and see how it actually works.
There's also a ton of neutral cards coming in, and we don't know how they're going to play into mage and priest decks.
Absolutely. So we don't know how the balance is really going to shift, but at first glance, this card doesn't look good to me. This card doesn't look like a card that's going to, just suddenly boost mage back up to viability and Constructed.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
but it's cool. It's a cool idea.
Yeah, it's a cool card in theory, but I don't think it's going to be saving anyone anytime soon.
No. There's going to be a lot of weird situations where I can't even play it because, like let's say I have mirror images on the board. I can't play this thing,
You don't want 2 more mirror images?
I don't. Well, 2 more of the single mirror image too. It's not even like an actual mirror image.
You don't get
card.
4. You get 2 0-2s.
Yeah, yeah. It's just
As
not going to
cards.
be. There's going to be so many situations where like I want to play this. It's in my hand. It's a dead card right now.
Do you?
You know.
What about playing this just so you could play Mountain Giants in your mage deck? So it puts more cards in your hand.
That's actually an interesting point. Is that there are going to be some tweaks to what mages play to take advantage of this card. So yeah, Mountain Giants. You play a Mountain Giant, and there were, that Giants mage deck was really popular for a while, where you would just kind of like hero power, Arcane Intellect, get your hand real big, then play cheap Mountain Giants.
But then if you don't have taunt,
after.
If your mini doesn't have taunt, there's no guarantee they'll even kill it. So
Yeah.
you're offloading cards to get more cards. So I don't even think that would work. It doesn't even make sense.
A lot of people are talking about Leroy, so I play Leroy, and I just play it like blind, like I just put it out there on a turn where I'm not even going to kill you, and I play it, and then you're forced to kill it, right? Because it's Leroy. You got to kill this 2/6, or a 6/2, and I gave you 2 whelps to kill it. But it's going to be really obvious, right? That's what I did when I play the secret right after. So it's like you're just going to be tipping your hand too much.
True, but do you just leave? I mean, the opposite end of that is, do you leave Leroy up? I mean,
No, you sheep it or hex it. I don't.
that's a good point.
It's the thing.
That's a good point.
It's going to be awkward in most situations. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm holding out. Hope for this card, but I currently don't look at it as a very good card at all.
Yeah, chat room makes it an interesting point, which is if you played like hard control, like almost nothing but taunts in your deck, this could be somewhat interesting.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. You play like a Shield Master, a Tazdingo, and then
You get like
you get a couple more Tazdingos. Those are good cards.
Yeah.
We'll see. It'll definitely, like, someone's going to figure out how to make this good.
yeah.
I guarantee that.
There's something we're not thinking about.
Yeah. No. And you really have to see how the meta changes and how the decks change before we can really say if any of these cards are good or bad. But at first glance, just seems bad.
Yep, absolutely. Also this week, other than new cards, the American Qualifier Tournament got more fleshed out. I won't bore you with all of the details. You can go check it out if you missed it. But I guess in short, if you're a top 16 Legend player and ranked between the months of April, May, June, July, or August, you will be invited to participate in this qualifier. The thing that surprised me the most, to just kind of go through this quickly, was that there will only be 4 players moving on to the finals at BlizzCon. I figured we'd see more of a tournament than that at the live event.
No, I think there's 4 players coming from each qualifier, I think.
Oh, okay, so it's just from... Okay, that makes sense.
So,
I read this
16
wrong.
players from one season, and then there's a qualifying
sense.
tournament, and then, like, the top 4 from that move on to the final tournament. So I think we're actually going to get is a 16-player,
Gotcha.
maybe even a 32-player tournament at BlizzCon.
16 seems to make more sense.
It does, but they also said there's going to be other qualifiers outside of just getting top 16 Legend.
Okay.
Which
Well,
I think
yeah.
makes sense, because if you just do the top 16 Legend, there's going to be some repeats in there a lot of times. Cause
Well,
players
they already counteracted in the past that if you
yeah,
made
they'll go
it goes down
beyond
to the,
16. Yeah, yeah.
Right, goes down
But
to
still,
17.
it's going to be like there needs to be another way to get in, because there's going to be people who just can't. Like, really good player doesn't have time to play that often.
Right.
So,
There was always the same thing, the same concern in StarCraft. If you pulled all of your players from the ladder, well, the pro players aren't playing on ladder. They're competing against, they're practicing against their teammates and friends on other teams in custom games.
yeah.
So that they win the actual tournament. So you need
Sure.
to pull a certain amount of players from sanctioned tournaments.
Yeah, yeah. And what I think is really cool about this, though, and somebody in chat just said Hafu missed the top 16 by 1 spot this season. Wow, that's brutal. A lot of people say that she's not good in Constructed, but she wasn't good in Constructed when she was never playing Constructed. She's a good player, so I think if she just puts her, and now there's a really big incentive to get good at Constructed. So
Absolutely.
same thing with like Trump. It's like, now that there's something to shoot for here, I'm going to go for it.
You've
But
seen people from other card game scenes finally perk up and be like, oh, I guess I should learn to play Hearthstone.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a
Well,
lot
yeah,
of money.
$250,000 on the line
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Oh yeah, we haven't even just. I forgot we were gone when they announced the prize pool. Well, yeah, there's $250,000 on the line at the finals at BlizzCon.
That's nuts, man.
It-
$100,000 to somebody.
And even if you're not, if you're in 16th place, you get $5,000.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh man,
Pretty sick.
I'm
Pretty sick to play some cards.
so happy about this.
I think it's amazing, man. I
Like,
think it's amazing. I'm really looking forward to this
because
tournament.
I've got so many friends who are into esports because of the StarCraft thing and Dota 2 and all that, and all of you snobby little bastards who I'm friends with, and I love you very much, who constantly love that argument with me. Is Hearthstone really an esport? Yes.
Yeah, there's $250,000
Yes.
that says
Yes,
it is. 250,000 reasons why it's an esport. Yeah.
Yep.
But that's massive. And if this sets the precedent for what we're going to see year to year, I mean, holy crap! If this is how it goes every year, I really hope that this continues on. Like this, every year there's going to be somebody who just gets that $100,000 check, and then is just a god in the Hearthstone community because they won this thing.
Yep.
It's going to be cool as hell, man.
Next tournament he shows up to, all gold deck.
Yeah, exactly. Like, guess what? I have all the cards now. Oh, of course you do. But okay, so I wanna point this out though too, that phase 1 of the tournament is going to be a Swiss format, which I really think is really cool. Like, I don't think a lot of players know really what Swiss is and how it really works, but
it's common.
It's like a big round robin type of thing where your record at the end kind of seeds you in the next portion of the tournament. So, they said so there's 130 initial participants in the Swiss format, and then you get 16 players.
Yep.
So there you go. There's 16 players. Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, so you're gonna get like a lot of back and forth. Like it's not gonna come down to. It's gonna really cut down on the RNG. Like I just got a bad draw in one game, and then I lost the tournament. It's like no, I played a lot of games, and that's what
you
got
keep going
me to
and you
the
keep
next
playing
part.
games, and they say right here if you lose 3 matches in phase 1, you're eliminated.
Yeah, you're out. Yeah.
But if you get a +5 record, which is it's of a sum of like your wins and your losses. So you could go 5-0 and you have a +5, or you could go 7-2 and you still have a +5 match record. You then advance to phase 2.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really going to mean that like the person who just played consistently better, those are the people who are going to make that top 16, and then we're going to see some high friggin' level Hearthstone, which I cannot wait. Hearthstone Power, you're saving me a front seat again, right? Because I need to be there in the front seat.
Oh, I need to get a press pass.
Yeah.
I really
Well,
need to get a press pass.
maybe we'll be casting it. I don't know.
Oh,
Blizzard?
don't jinx it, man. I would love
Blizzard?
for that to happen. Don't jinx it. I would be so
I'm
excited
just
if that
saying.
happened.
I'm just saying, putting us out there. We could do
You
it.
just need a guy to interview people to fill airtime.
Sure. Yeah. How about that? We'll just interview back. Whatever, Blizzard. Put us on the bill, man.
I've got
Let
a
us be a
suit.
part of it.
I look like crap now. I can clean up.
Fix your hair, Garrett.
Fix my damn hair.
How are we going to be casting this thing?
Chat
if you're
room is
hoping-
losing their shit over the lack of quality of my hair at the moment. Anyways, so there's that. There's a lot more that can be said about the rules, but it would take way more time than we have here, and we really want to talk to you guys about Aggro Paladin. So let's get into this week's strategy section.
Hit it very hard.
Wanna blow something up? Time to pay!
I really miss these bumpers when we don't do the show for a week.
Yeah. Did you notice we just spent like an hour and 10 minutes on news because we missed a week?
Yeah. I mean, part of it was having Chris on and really getting to dig into the stats, but yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We might have to skip crazy game stories, guys. Sorry.
Remember when we thought that we weren't going to do this show every week because Hearthstone can't possibly have enough news to do a weekly show?
Yeah. When we
No,
were
that
conceiving
was
this, we're like, maybe it'll be a bi-weekly show. We're not sure.
Yeah, we don't know. It's just a little card game, man.
I don't know what this voice is. I don't ever actually talk like this.
I like it, though. Keep it.
Anyways, Aggro Paladin, also, aka the Shakadin. You may have heard of it. It's all the rage right now. All the kids are doing it.
All the kids are doing it.
All
Yeah.
the kids. So like you said, Dils, not really a brand new deck. It's kind of been around in certain forms.
Yeah. Yeah. So I wrote a friggin' novel on this deck, but This is a deck that has been around for a little while. If you've been paying attention to the meta, you've noticed the influx of this deck lately. Not just this deck, though, actually. I'm going to say Paladin in general. Paladin has been kind of the redheaded stepchild for a little while where no one's really playing it because, Kayuki plays a lot of Paladin still. And he's just like, that's my thing. I'm a Paladin player. But for the most part, a lot of people aren't playing this, this class because it's very weak right now. It's just not... once Mage went away, Paladin didn't really have like a class that it countered. And recently, with the influx of Handlock and Miracle Rogue, Paladin has made a little bit of a comeback. I want to point out also that Reynad made a Paladin deck tech video that also kind of brought back mid-range Paladin a little bit. So similar to my Paladils deck from back in the day, which anybody who's familiar with my stream and stuff knows that I used to play a lot of Paladin.
I remember playing against the Paladils deck at BlizzCon.
Yeah, exactly. And it was basically a mid-range Paladin deck. It had all the kind of like the Paladin has a lot of four-costed cards that are really good. Unfortunately, it just kind of clogs that spot up, and you can't.
I was about to say, unfortunately, there's only one turn 4.
Exactly, yeah. And then when you get to turn 5, you're like, well, I play a turn 4 card again. So it's Paladin just kind of fell off a little bit, and especially when Mage was strong, Paladin was great because of how much healing Paladin has, which is kind of weird because Paladin is a healer in WoW, but you'd think that like the heavy healing classes would be Priest and Shaman, right? Like Paladin is, you see a lot of tanks and you see a lot of a lot of Ret Pallies and stuff. But the Holy Pallies, as much as they're good, it's not the healing class necessarily. But they have so many healing cards. This deck has no healing cards. This deck is not about that. This is an aggro Paladin deck. The whole point behind this deck, and I'm gonna put this out there that the original version of this deck I'm gonna attribute to Sixa. Sixa had a deck called Sixa's Miniatures. And Crip played this deck at the BlizzCon tournament, actually. So you can see like the old school version of this if you go back, because those are still like some of the decks that people look at.
So is this the version with the Sword of Justice?
The one that I've linked to in here does not have Sword of Justice, but I'm going to talk about where.
Yeah, I realized that has long since fallen out of fashion, but was Six's original the one that I'm trying to remember? Crip's Paladin deck at BlizzCon.
I don't think that it did. It might have had Sword of Justice.
Because I feel like all the Paladins at BlizzCon had Sword of Justices because that's all you saw for like the next 2 months.
You look at that card and you think this card is amazing, but the problem with that card is that you play it on turn 3 and you basically do nothing on turn 3.
And it's locking out
4, 5, and 6.
You're locking out your turn 3, and True Silver Champion's a better weapon. And you could do it on turn 4.
If you have a True Silver Champion in your hand on turn 3 and a Sword of Justice, you play Sword of Justice and you go like, crap, I can't play my True Silver now, because I need to like use all the charges need to get used before I can do it.
Absolutely.
But anyway, this deck made a comeback because of Handlock and Miracle Rogue. It's really good versus Handlock because it has a lot of spell-based finishers that like get past the taunts, so. You get the Handlock low, and then they put out, 2 Molten Giants, and they taunt them both up, and you're just like, wow, crap! Now I can't get past that, and I lose because he's got 1,000,000 damage on board. But what this deck has the ability to Equality Consecrate or Equality Avenging Wrath, or
there's even one Elven Archer in there. That one Elven Archer in there just to really thumb your nose at that Molten Giant. That you just killed.
Like, Equality, Elven Archer. Guess what? But the thing is, because of the meta had shifted so heavily in favor of Handlock and Miracle Rogue, what this deck also did is put the pressure on Miracle Rogue that you kind of need to do, because you can't beat Miracle Rogue if you're sitting back. Like when you play something like the Ramp Druid, you spend 7 mana. Granted, you spend it on turn 5 because you wild growth twice, but like you spend a bunch of mana on one card and then they sap it and then they just like go to your face for a bunch of damage. So what this deck does is it puts out a bunch of little guys and just goes to your face, and then Rogue either has to use up all of its removal, really early on, which means that it doesn't have like, so Miracle Rogue then doesn't have like 7 spells in hand when it draws the Auctioneer to then just like cycle through the deck. It had to deal with all this aggro from turn 1, so it didn't get to that big turn 8, which is when the Auctioneer hits the board and then you start playing all your spells. So it actually did really well against Miracle Rogue as well, and this is why this deck made a lot of sense when that meta kind of hit, where it was just handlock, Miracle Rogue, handlock, Miracle Rogue, handlock, 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 miracle, miracle, miracle. Like, you're just like, oh god damn it. So this deck really countered that meta, and that's why you've kind of seen it a lot. I'm gonna talk about the playstyle real quick. The playstyle is just get a bunch of creatures out quickly, use all your cards.
So not all that dissimilar from Handlock, or not Handlock, Zoolock.
Zoolock. Well, but okay, so Zoolock is get all your cards out because you need to play. You need to play your 5/7 that discards 2 cards, right? Like, you know, when you play the Doomguard, you can't have a handful of stuff.
It's also because of your hero ability.
Your hand
you don't need to worry about losing.
Yeah, you draw 2 a turn after that. So, but not only that though, but what this does is you can you can Divine Favor and draw like 6 cards, you know, and especially against Handlock, who kind of hoards cards. Like, they end up having like 9 cards in hand for a lot of turns. So I empty my hand, then I Divine Favor, I draw 9 cards, and then I'm just good to go. Just good to go. I'm like, never need to draw another card. I can just beat you, no problem. So you put out all this early pressure. Stuff has Divine Shield. Stuff gets buffed. You know, just got a lot of cards that are a little sticky, and, you know, they're generally like weak cards, but they're not weak in conjunction with, you know, the style. So like Blessing of Might, that's a weak card, but in this deck it actually makes a lot of sense. So it really counters that meta that we had just seen, and it may be going out of style soon. We'll see, but it's, you know, and I played it a bunch before we started the show. I think I won like 4 out of 6 or something like that. Nothing too crazy. But it's just it's a deck where like you think like, I'm running out of steam. I got no way to finish him off. Then you just Divine Favor, fill your hand back up, and then you go. So it's a really solid deck. It's got a tough play style because you sometimes feel like I'm supposed to trade, and you're generally just not supposed to trade. You're just supposed to go for the face, you know? And that's hard on people sometimes, because like Zoolock, even though it's like, people call it an aggro deck, it's really a board control deck. Like, you trade, you know?
Yeah.
With Zoolock. With this deck, you don't really trade. You let them trade. All your creatures have 1 health. You need to go for the face and get the value out of these cards. You have a lot of charge cards in it, and then you got your finishers with like Leroy, and then you put you take a Leroy Blessing of Might, that's 9 damage. Bang. Right there. So it's a tough deck. It's very, very specific to the current meta, and as soon as this meta changes, it's going to go away, guys. So be aware of that. But we're going to link to a current version of it. I'm going to give a shout out to a guy I just played, though, Vix. I just played. Vix is a Hearthstone god. Vix played a deck. We were both playing aggro Paladin, but he played King Mukla, and he played Lorewalker Cho in this deck.
What?
It was awesome. So he plays Mukla, gives me 2 bananas, then he plays Lorewalker Cho. So now if I use a banana, I give him a banana. Plus, I now cannot use my Consecrate because I give him a Consecrate, right?
Wow.
It's genius. And then when I have no way to get rid of any of his stuff without giving him spells. Then he freaking Divine Favors me for like 7 cards because he gave me the bananas. It was insane. It was so good. I'm going to put the Vix Paladin deck up somewhere because this guy, Hearthstone God, Vix, everybody.
Charlie just made a good point. I don't know where this went wrong. Oh, I see what it was. It was probably the Argent Protector. This, if you're watching the video version, this should have 2 Argent Squires, not 2 Argent Protectors.
Oh, yeah. There's no Argent Protectors in this deck.
No,
yeah.
none whatsoever. Thank you for pointing that out, chat room. If
you could put them in there, but I don't think it really fits.
No. This was just this was me trying to put together graphics real fast, and the alphabetized list in Hearthstone messing with me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah. No Argent Protectors. Argent Squires are in there. So I'm going to talk about some interchangeable stuff you can do. You can put in Sword of Justice, and Sword of Justice was really in fashion with this deck for a while, because you can do Sword of Justice and a Salsi Deckhand, which is actually a really cool little combo. So you could play Sword of Justice, and Salsi Deckhand is a 2/1 with charge if you have a weapon
for 1 mana.
For 1 mana. But when you have a Sword of Justice, it becomes a 3/2 with charge. So that's kind of awesome. 3/2 with charge for 1 mana. You can't. That's over. Yeah. That's OP as hell. There's another weird little combo that you could maybe throw in there, but it's a little tough. It's the Faceless Manip, because what you can do is you can Leroy, Blessing of Might, and then Faceless, and then you can burst for 18 on 10 mana. This is actually a fairly decent combo, and I realized playing the deck that I did go to turn 10 more often than I thought I would, because they clear your stuff so often that it's hard to just, like, sometimes you just get the God draw and you just burn them down in 5 turns. But you don't always get that, right? So sometimes the game goes a little long. The problem here is that if you get Faceless early on, it's like a dead card in your hand, and then when you Divine Favor, you already have a card in your hand, or really you just wanted to have no cards in your hand, Divine Favor, and fill your hand back up. So it's a little funky. I've also seen Blessing of Kings in this deck. I don't think that works very well, but I've seen some people play it. The reason I don't like it is because essentially what you're getting is 4/4 for 4, where like a Yeti is 4/5 for 4, and it still doesn't give you charge on the 4/4. So it's not as good as Blessing of Might, where I can actually put it on an existing creature and get +3.
This is a fast deck, and that's kind of a slow card.
Yeah, you're using 4 mana, and 4 mana is a lot of mana to use. So I don't know, but there's definitely variations on this deck. You can kind of tweak it around. You can do what you want. Most of the time, you're just going to see all the charge minions and all the low cost stuff, and then the Divine Favor, fill your hand back up. It's really strong against Handlock and Miracle, mid-range Hunter as well. It's okay against Zoo, Druid, and like most of the mid-range decks. And the bad matchups are Control Warrior, Shaman, and Mage. The problem with Mage, I actually beat a Mage, but it's tough because their hero ability basically kills everything you put out. So they don't use a card to kill your card, and that can be a problem. But it's a cool deck. It's fun to play. I played it for a little while before the show tonight, and did okay. I think I did okay.
Cool. Think you'll stick with it?
Probably not. I'm not really an aggro player, honestly. I mean,
right. You prefer the thinking man's game. Not that aggro isn't. I mean, you still have to make decisions, but
it is. This deck does take some thinking, but again, most of the time you're just gonna go face, and the heart is: do I go face even when I know I might get my stuff removed? Yes, I do go face. However, the thing is that this deck will always have a place when Handlock and Miracle are a thing. So until those aren't a thing, this deck won't have a place.
Yep. I had a very narrow, I forgot to even mention, I had a really, really narrow victory with my Handlock against one of these decks last night. It was terrifying.
You need to, what you need to have if you're playing Handlock is you need to have Molten Giants, and then you need them to not have equality, basically.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
He never pulled equality, and I won.
Yeah, that's basically how it works. Paradox in the chat is making some good points. If you're at 10 men, don't add Faceless, too slow. I just mentioned that. It's probably too slow. Wolf Riders over Golems. There's some people who played double Golem. Some people played both Wolf Riders. Whatever is your preference. You can go either way.
Yep. So, well, very cool. Thanks for that lesson there, Dills. Let's round the episode out with some emails.
Hello.
Hello, it's me.
Hello.
Just quickly, do you get my message?
Yep.
Oh.
Hello, brother.
You can send your emails to tacpodcast@gmail.com. Our first email tonight comes to us from Brandon, who writes 2 questions. Oh, well, fine. You're cheating there. He says, if you play a shaman and your opponent has no taunters on the board, do you attack before hexing? Sure, he may play something and buff up that 0/1, but is it worth wasting a solid 6-point attack? So we'll stop there and answer that first.
Yeah, absolutely. I generally do this. This is, I mean, the thing is, if you're gonna hex, and you have like a 1/1 on board, then I say hex, tack it with a 1/1, whatever. But if I am gonna attack his face maybe for 6, yeah, always hex after. Get the attacks in first.
Yeah, it's situational, like you said.
Yeah. So he makes a good point. Like, I see a lot of people make the mistake. They hex first, and they're like, oh crap, now I have to attack the damn.
You got a
hex.
Stormforged axe equipped? Use a durability.
Charge of that, sure.
Remove those 0/1.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of situations where you just want to clear the board outright, because people can buff things. But
It also could depend on the deck you're playing. Yeah, if you're playing that Paladin deck we just saw, or we just talked about, and they're running buff cards, you're like, maybe I should just kill it.
yeah, just kill it. But the thing is you got to look at the current situation. So, but just always remember, when you hex something, it's gonna be taunting. So if you got to attack other stuff first. Good little science question, actually, though.
Yeah.
It's a common mistake.
He said, he continued, he asked thoughts on a game lobby or something to that effect where players who are not Battle.net friends can mingle and possibly connect to play matches together. I would love to have the feel of a card shop to be introduced into this game where I can log in and meet 15 to 20 people in a small chat room and find like-minded players for casual games. I honestly, I don't see why chat rooms aren't in the game.
Yeah, I think this would be really cool. I would love to be able to go in and just like hang out and talk to. You could like choose to join it or not, and whatever.
Yeah, it's the clans in Diablo 3 have worked out amazingly. The chat channels in StarCraft before clans came really late to the game worked out well. I don't understand why this.
That's basically all it is, right? Is a chat room.
It's a chat channel.
There's no other real point.
You just type like /join StarCast and you're on a StarCast chat channel and you're good to go.
Yeah.
I don't see why there's not something like this for Hearthstone. I completely understand and agree and want them to keep it that way, that there's no chat in actual games. I don't see any reason why there can't be a general chat room outside of the game in a main lobby.
Yeah. So. No, it makes a lot of sense. So I would love to see that.
Yeah. Thanks for that email, Brandon. You want to take the next one, Dills?
Yeah, this is from Rogarilla. Or Rogaria, maybe? I don't know. I am in need of Hearthstone advice and hope that you fine folks can assist me. So I am fairly cheap. Poor, he puts in parentheses or in quotations there. He says, I haven't bought more than one pack from Blizz. I thought it would be wise to save my Disenchanted Dust for a legendary card. It's taken me since the start of beta to accrue 1,600 dust, and now I am ready. My question is, which neutral card is the best bang for my dust? Can't decide. Alexstrasza, Deathwing, Ragnaros the Firelord, Ysera. I'm asking neutral because I already have 4 of the 8 hero specifics. Thanks in advance, Rogaria. Also had a hunter named Jay ask a similar question, whether to go for Leroy or King Crush. All right, well, Leroy right now.
For both of these, I think is the answer.
Yeah, I
Jay
think Leroy
definitely
is the card that's going to get you the most bang for your dust in all decks.
To Jay the Hunter, no need for King Crush. I know it's shiny. He has a really cool intro as he enters the board, but Leroy is always a better card to play. Well, usually a better card to play. And Roguerilla is how I read it, or Rogueria.
Yeah, Roguerilla. Yeah, it's Roguerilla basically.
Roguerilla.
Yeah. But Leroy is just the answer right now.
Yeah.
There's too many decks that use him as their finisher, and it's just he's insane. You get a creature that you can buff, so it's not just like he's not another fireball. Like a lot of people you say, oh, another fireball. No. It's a fireball that I could give +4 attack to or something.
And you can do other things in the same turn, which is amazing. Especially, look, he mentioned Alexstrasza, Deathwing, Rag, and Ysera. Between those 4, I'd probably go for Rag, but Leroy. Yeah. And if you're playing budget and you want cards that'll work in multiple decks and really, again, bang for the dust, to turn a phrase. Yeah,
bang for the dust. It's a new thing.
Leroy.
But definitely not like Deathwing, Alexstrasza, Ysera. Like those should be like kind of on the back burner. Like after Leroy, you're gonna look at like Blood Mage Stalnos and Cairn, Sylvanas. Like those are gonna be in more decks than like Alexstrasza is really only currently in some hand locks and not even that many anymore.
Not running it in mine at the moment. I spent so much dust on that damn card.
I took him out, man. I took out Draxus and Alexstrasza. I just want to play the Giants, you know. But you know, you're gonna see more often. You're gonna see Leroy's and Karens and stuff than you're gonna see any of these other cards right now. So
indeed. Let's take a couple chat room questions just before we leave.
Real quick.
Don't want to keep you too late, Dills. Frogs SF asked, did Arena get nerfed? Because I feel like I'm seeing less legendaries, both in my hands and the hands against me. No,
no change to that.
Completely luck of the draw, it sounds like.
Yeah, I still get arena runs where I get 2 of them sometimes. It's just how many times you do it. You know, every now and then you'll get a couple. Every now and then you'll get 0.
Yep, and every now and then you'll go up against that guy who has 4, and you're just like, what the actual F? Because it's never me. I've never gotten 4. Mindcrim asks, what remaining Nax class cards would you like to see?
Well,
that's a loaded question.
He's asking us ones we haven't seen.
He's okay. I thought this was, hey, could you design a card on the fly?
No, I cannot. But I would like to see a priest card that somehow helps them deal with the 4 attack creatures. I don't know what that is, but something that helps them do it. I don't think you can like. Say,
it would be. You could argue that it would just be a creature with 4 attack.
But I mean, like they have no way to deal with the 4 attack creatures with like a spell, right? So they got the under 4 and the over 4, right? But
yeah.
So something that maybe deals, because there's more 4 attack creatures that are popular in this game than any other attack amount, right? So something that like gives priest that like takes that weakness away. I would like to see, because you know nowadays you're not even seeing that many Shadow Word Pains. You're seeing death still, but pain is always a 1-for-1. So, I'd like to see something that just helps them deal with that. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's necessarily like kill a 4 attack creature type card, but something that just gives them a little more leeway when it comes to dealing with those cards.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I honestly don't know what I'd want to see.
Yeah.
In the spirit, you know, everything seems to be Death Rattle themed or synergizes with Death Rattle. So,
like Priest doesn't really take advantage of a lot of Death Rattle currently. So,
well, no one really does. I mean, there are some Death Rattle cards in the game, but it seems like Naxxramas, it's the Death Rattle expansion more or less.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a full-fledged expansion, but it's all Death Rattle all the time.
I like this idea of like a creature that kills a 4 attack minion. So it's a creature that does it. So like you got your spells that do the other ones, and then you got a creature that does this one. That could be kind of cool. Yeah, I can see something like that.
Not bad. It's not bad. I think it could be. I just hope flavor-wise it's like creepy and dark and all Shadow Priesty, because.
Yeah. I would like to see. Yeah, I would like to see actually something more along the lines of a Shadow Priest. There's not enough Shadow Priest type cards.
Yeah, if you wanted to build a Shadow Priest deck, you'd be hard pressed to do it.
Well, I've done it, and it's not good.
Well, right, but you don't have a whole lot of options at the moment.
No, you don't.
And if you just throw all the things that fit that archetype in, it's not a particularly great deck.
It sucks. Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's fun, but it sucks.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyways, I think that'll do it for today's episode. We will be back next week, hopefully, with Jocelyn. Jocelyn, if you're listening, get better. For the love of God.
Better.
I thought you guys had really good health care up there. What's going on?
Yeah, we miss you.
She's like, it's viral, Garrett. It doesn't matter how good the healthcare is. Just have to wait it out. I'm trying to make a joke. See, I can have my banter with Jocelyn by myself.
Yeah, you could still crap all over Jocelyn, according to everybody who listens to the show.
Banter.
It's banter.
Anyways, I wanted to make sure and thank all of the Angry Chicken patrons. Keep calling you angry patrons, but I hope you're not angry. I hope you're very happy patrons. You seem to be, because a lot of you aren't leaving, which is nice. If you want to support the show, you can do so by becoming an Angry Chicken patron, which is over at patreon.com/TAC. We're about to hit the halfway mark to our first goal, which we'll be doing monthly Google Hangouts.
We really want to get there, you guys. We really want to get there, because and I know like some people have been patrons for a while, and it's like, oh, I'm just supporting the show, and we're not getting these cool benefits. We want to get there, but I hope the show is worth it enough for you guys to stick around. But we really appreciate all of it.
Before I'm hoping before nerdtacular that we can schedule at least a one-off of a hangout.
We just should. I mean, at this
I-
point, like, we just
It's-
do
it's
something
the-
because, like, we've had some people who've been patrons for a while now, and not only that, but I've been kicking around some ideas about like patron-only tournament that I can just run on a Saturday, and you guys come hang out, like, just for funsies. So I'll get more stuff out there when I get
absolutely.
some time to do it. But I got some ideas to just support the patrons who have been supporting us for so long, outside of the goals we've already set. So.
Yeah, the support's been really great, and we're so thankful for all of you supporting our show. So we will be.
You guys are awesome.
Yeah, stay tuned. We'll obviously announce it on the show. We'll announce it on the Twitter and everywhere else that makes sense too. We'll let you know when we do that hangout with you, the listeners. Also, wanted to thank specifically 5 patrons this week. Wanted to thank Yuri S, Frederick P, Linky Poo. Thank you so much for your name. Makes me smile. Matt H, and I'm gonna butcher this, and I apologize. Januz S. As
That sounds
someone
pretty good.
whose last name is nigh unpronounceable, at least when looking on paper, I feel the pain of what I probably just did to your name.
Yeah, news. I think that's right. I think you got it. You nailed it, dude.
Best I can do. So thank you very much, patrons. You guys are awesome. Also, thanks to those of you who left us 5-star reviews in the iTunes store. It's where the majority of our listeners are. That's why we pull reviews from iTunes. It's that simple. People always like, I don't use iTunes. Sorry.
Yeah. Well,
It's
feel
cool.
no obligation.
You're
to.
still listening to the show, which is great.
Yeah.
And that's all that
Feel
matters.
no obligation to listen to.
But that
to
being said,
this show.
thanks to the
Anything-
iTunes. Yeah. Thanks to the iTunes reviewers. Neil Roush, SGISO. I don't know if that is a pronunciation. of that.
Sugiso.
Sakiso, Mr. Beethoven, C. Travis Harris, and Leo991. Thank you guys very much for your reviews. As always, the Angry Chicken is a production of amove.tv and the Frog Pants Studios, which is over at frogpants.com. Our email is that's Twitter. Our email is tacpodcast@gmail.com. Our forum is over at forum.amove.tv. Please join us every Monday night right here on twitch.tv/amovetv at 10 p.m. Eastern for the live recording of the show. Or if you are out and about, you can get it on the mobile live stream, which is provided by Alpha Geek Radio, which you can get by going to mobile.alphageekradio.com. Our Twitter is at TAC Podcast. I can be found at Garrett Art. Dills can be found at Willie Dills. And the poor sick Jocelyn can be found at GIS Gamer. Go tweet at her. Tell her to feel better. Make her smile. And big thanks to Brian Griffith, the music. You can tell I've been doing shows for 4 hours tonight.
Yeah, you've been at this for a while, dude.
Yeah. Thanks to Brian Griffith, the musician responsible for our intro music. His website is briangriffithmusic.com. So go check that out. And check out nomoonart.com for my graphic design portfolio. I make pretty pictures, and you can see them there. Dills,
They're so pretty, man.
where can people find you?
You can find me tomorrow night. It's Tuesday, and that means that it's SF Game Night at Folsom Street Foundry. Come by at 6 o'clock. I am in the top 3 of the Hearthstone tournament we did last week and couldn't finish. So I'll be trying my best to win the damn Arthas helmet, and I'm really hoping that I actually do. The 3 really good players are left, though, so I got my work cut out for me. But come out. It's a really good thing. It's a good time. And whether you're going to play Hearthstone or not, you're going to have fun there because it's just a ton of games to play. You drink beer, hang out. It's cool. If you're in the Bay Area, that's where you should be tomorrow. You can also find me on The Instance. The Instance is the World of Warcraft podcast, so you don't have to. We missed the show last week, and Scott did a solo show on Sunday, but I'll be back this week. Got a lot of stuff to talk about. I've been playing some PvP, and I'm excited to talk about that. There's a lot of stuff going on there. Vote for the Horde bike, please, everybody. Torchcast, podcast about San Francisco Giants, MGA, Mediocre Golf Association, MGAtour.com, and, of course, Into the Nexus with Garrett and Kyle.
Here,
Check it out.
new episode this Thursday at 9 p.m.
Oh, yeah.
right here on the same
Oh, yeah.
channel.
And we're going to talk about how much we still hate Murky, or maybe we've gotten over it. I don't know.
I actually had a game without a Murky in it.
What? That's
I was
not.
so
That
stoked.
didn't happen.
That'll be the news this week on Into the Nexus. Anyways, check out Jocelyn on the Gamers Inn right here on amove.tv. And please check out our sponsors, doghousesystems.com, where you can get a special edition Warcraft or Horde tower. The artwork is gorgeous. I believe the orc may or may not be modeled after a certain podcaster who we're friends with. Just putting that out there. So go check that out. You can also get the Angry Chicken Special Edition, or if you just want a regular computer or any of them, use the code TAC, and it'll get you double memory on your next Doghouse Systems gaming rig, free of charge, and it will directly support the Angry Chicken every time that code is used. We thank them for their support, and we thank you for using that code. We will see you all next week for episode 33 of the Angry Chicken. But until then, and sadly without Jocelyn, job's done.
Job's done. Job's done. Yes!
There you have it. You had to do your own Jocelyn just so you could also do your own yes. You masturbatory bastard.
Hey, I had to do it, man. I had to do it.
You're a good man, Dills.
Fun show, dude. Really fun show.
Indeed.
All right, I got to get out of here. I got to eat something
Yeah, you
real
gotta-
quick before I
you gotta-
podcast some more.
gotta
You,
run.
you've been at it for a while.
I need to
but
get the shows posted so I can.
I'm just
sleep.
I'm just getting started.
All right. Well, chat room, you guys have been great. Thank you guys
Yeah.
for hanging around. We passed 100 views tonight. That makes me happy.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did. We've had a good night as far as Twitch views. So thank you guys, everyone.
Have a good one, everyone.